Dear colleagues, we continue our press briefings at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and now we have Vilyen Pidgornyy, Ministry of Defense spokesperson, with the topic Russian military aggression in eastern Ukraine. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a weekly update on Russian aggression against Ukraine between February 20th and February 26th. The overall situation at the front line remains tense, with frequent armed provocations instigated by the Russia-backed militants and episodic shellings by the enemy of Ukrainian positions. The number of ceasefire violations ranged between 92 on February 24th and 49 on February 25th at the lowest. The militants widely use small arms alongside heavy weapons such as artillery, tanks, and mortars. The enemy also used rocket artillery, having fired 7 Grad missiles with mobile rocket launch system Grad-P, Partizan, against Ukrainian positions. In addition, Ukrainian armed forces have registered about 20 instances of hostile sniper fire last week. As far as Luhansk sector is concerned, no major combat action was registered throughout last week. The militants predominantly used small arms during the daytime. The enemy occasionally opened mortar fire, launching no more than 10 bombs per shelling. The daily number of ceasefire violations ranged between 3 to 11. The militants were active in Popasna area, in Krymske, Lobachevo, and Stanitsa Luhanska. As far as Donetsk sector is concerned, Avdiivka and adjacent Ukrainian positions to the east and south remain in the epicenter of the hostilities of the enemy. On February 22nd, the militants changed their tactics and started focusing their fire on Svitlodarsk area. The Ukrainian armed forces positions near Avdiivka were subject to enemy fire from 5 to 11 hours daily. In the morning on February 20th, while the intensity of the militants' mortar significantly decreased, the enemy snipers became more involved. The most critical situation in Avdiivka was recorded on February 21st, when the enemy fired 180 mortar bombs and 60 tank shells against Ukrainian armed forces positions. On February 23rd, militants fired nearly 100 bombs near Zaitsevo. The enemy troops also opened fire against the positions of Ukrainian armed forces in Svitlodarsk area, at Horlivka perimeter, and in Donetsk airport area. The number of daily ceasefire violations of the enemy ranged between 18 to 35. On the weekend, the enemy continued shelling of Avdiivka that lasted for hours. On Saturday and Sunday, the enemy tanks intensified fire to the east and south of Avdiivka, near Kamenka and Shakhta-Butovka positions, as well as in Pisky. As far as Mariupol sector is concerned, February 22nd was marked by 2 active shellings of Vodyane by the militants, who used mobile rocket launching systems Grad-P and 122 mm artillery in addition to mortars. The militants fired more than 100 shells of different caliber. On February 20th and 21st, the enemy predominantly used gunfire. On February 23rd, Ukrainian positions near Taramchuk suffered powerful enemy mortar shelling. The daily number of ceasefire violations in the sector ranged between 30 to 35 per day. Over the weekend, the intensity of mortar fire against Ukrainian positions to the east of Mariupol and in Mariinka district slightly increased. On Saturday, the enemy tanks opened fire in Vodyane, having fired about 15 shells. On February 20th, Ukrainian police found in Avdiivka a Russian drone that fell down due to hardware failure. The drone was transferred to the State Security Service of Ukraine experts, who would examine its characteristics and information the drone managed to obtain while in service. Last week, 4 Ukrainian servicemen were killed in action, and 36 servicemen were wounded in action. It includes 8 persons who received wounds in booby trap explosions. Additionally, Ukraine's State Emergency Service officer, who was critically injured during the enemy shelling in Avdiivka on February 2nd, died at Dnipro Hospital on February 21st. Our hearts go out to the families and friends of the fallen Ukrainian heroes who defended their motherland. 13 residential buildings at frontline towns of Verkhnyotoretske, Avdiivka, Krasnogorivka, and Mariinka sustained damage as a result of militant attacks last week. In Krasnogorivka, a mortar bomb fired by Russian proxies directly hit the non-residential building. On February 24th, the enemy hit high-voltage power lines in Avdiivka. This resulted in power outages in residential and industrial areas throughout the town. Donetsk water filtering station was also damaged. It continues to provide water supply to the residents, limiting it to several hours per day. In the meantime, Ukraine's State Emergency Service officers provided 10 power generators to ease discomfort in residential districts of Avdiivka. As of now, repair works in the town are being provided by the State Emergency Service as well as by the Ukrainian servicemen and volunteers. However, the ongoing enemy shellings slow down Ukrainian service technicians. That'll be all for today. Thank you very much.